There's a lot of money in the world. The United States government has around $36 trillion of national debt. All you need is a small little piece of the money that's out there to be able to live a life of complete financial freedom. So now, when you think about this, of money is abundant, what does this mean? Well, the first thing is understanding that you can attract more money. You can earn more money, because the game that so many people play, which I completely understand and I'm not against, but this is just the first part of the game, is you might say, okay, Jaspreet, I make $50,000 a year, and you convinced me I'm gonna stop spending all of my money. Because before I was spending $50,000 and I was making $50,000, so I had no money to save or invest. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to take a little piece of my income, about $10,000, and I'm gonna save and invest this money every year. Then a little while goes by and you say, you know what, Jaspreet, I kind of like this financial education stuff. I like having some savings. I like investing my money. I see the trajectory to build wealth. I'm going to do even more. So what do most people do? Instead of saving and investing $10,000, now you start saving and investing $15,000. Maybe you go even more extreme, and now you start saving and investing $20,000, almost half of what you make. But you can start to see the problem here. There's a limit to how small you can live. There's a limit to how many pennies you can squeeze out of this income, but there's no limit to how much you can earn. This is a great place to start, and I recommend everybody starting here. But you have to also understand that if you can go from $50,000 a year to say $500,000 a year, well, now you can save and invest $100,000 and live off of the other $400,000. You're living a whole lot larger, but you also have a whole lot more money to save and invest. Now, when I say this, everyone's initial knee-jerk reaction is, well, Jaspreet, how in the world am I gonna go from $50,000 to $500,000 a year? My boss is not gonna give me a raise like this. What are you talking about? And you're right, they might not. But now, remember, let's break through the invisible ceiling. Let's think through this. What do you do if you had to make $500,000 in a year? Well, maybe you start learning how to do that. Maybe you start watching YouTube videos. Maybe you start listening to podcasts. Maybe you start reading books on how to do this. And now, maybe you start learning about new opportunities. Maybe you start learning about new careers. Maybe you start learning about new business ideas or side hustles that you can start doing. And maybe the first year, you actually lose money. You buy some courses and you end up being scammed out of something, and now you're really angry, but you don't give up. Because you want to find that opportunity. You got to get a little bit of a taste, and you're still thinking bigger. Right? You understand that there is this opportunity out there. So now what do? Well, now you learn from the mistakes that you made. And now you try something different, and you're working, and you start seeing other people who've become successful, and you start learning from them. You start studying what other people do, and now you start to take some more action. And now in the second year, maybe you only make $5,000 on the side from this business that you have really just dedicated your life to on the side. So you're working all the time, and you're working on the side for this business. Year one, you lost money because you got screwed over. Year two, you made $5,000. But then year three, maybe you make an additional $50,000. Over the course of the year. You just doubled your income. Maybe year four, you make $200,000. You still haven't achieved this, but guess what? You're way further than where you were before. And this is where, remember, there's a lot of money in the world. There's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars out there. You just need a small little piece of it to start to see the success for yourself. But in order for this to happen, you gotta remember this one thing I want you to understand. There's no limit to success. And this is a very tough concept for our brains to process, because our brains are not wired to think about this, because our brains are wired to think in terms of scarcity. See, when we're growing up, our parents can only divide their attention in so many ways. If you have a sibling, either you got the attention from your parents or you didn't. If your parents are busy, either you got their attention or they didn't. It was black and white. It was either there or it was not there. You couldn't have all the attention. But when it comes to money, you can be rich and I can be rich. It's a different concept. And it's hard for our brains to understand that unless you start to see it for yourself. Because what happens to a lot of people is they get caught up into this scarcity-minded thinking where they think, if I spend $1, you're getting rich and I'm not. Which, yeah, maybe that's the case if you're buying Gucci, if you're buying dumb things that you don't have the money for. But if you can pay somebody $1 and earn $2, well, now you have the opportunity to learn and grow. And this is where you have to start finding those types of opportunities. Are they investments? Is it education? Is it investment into your own business? How can you start thinking a little bit bigger in terms of abundance? Because there's a lot of money in the world, that we stop having this scarce, limited mind that's always shutting down the opportunities, because unfortunately, there's a lot of negative people in the world. We got enough of them. All they're gonna do is hate, talk about how this is not possible, talk about how this random guy on YouTube has no idea what he's talking about, talk about all these things about how it's not possible for somebody like me because of whatever situation that you're in, because of where you grew up, because of the way that you look, because of how your parents are, because of whatever community that you're in, because of whatever reason you can come up with. Everybody's got those reasons. But the reality is, it is possible if you believe it's possible. See, the people that become successful are the people that believe that it's possible and then they work towards that. The people that don't are the ones that are always hating on everybody else. So you got to decide, would you rather be a hater or would you be the one that wants to become successful? Because as soon as you become successful, those people are going to be hating on you because you had some magic fairy tale that they didn't have. And the last part to this, to really think the way that wealthy people think, is to understand that it is your duty to become wealthy. Nobody else's. And the reason why I talk about this is because, well, nobody's going to do it for you. And the mistake that many of us make is we feel like, man, I worked hard. I bust my butt. I deserve to have this nice stuff. I worked so hard that it should be given to me now. And we just feel like we deserve something even though we don't have that thing. But money is not emotional. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care how much you feel like you deserve it. Either you have it or you don't. And this is where I want you to start really understanding this. And understand it's going to be hard. You can't go through this and become successful without sacrifice. I don't care how many people on the internet, I don't care how many gurus will sell you a class on how to get rich without putting in any work. It's not possible. At least I haven't been able to figure it out yet. So, understand it is your duty. And you're gonna have to go through some crap. You're gonna have to get punched in the face. You're gonna have to go through the ups and downs. You're gonna lose money at some point. You're gonna get screwed over. It's a part of the process. At least that's what it's been for me and every other successful person that I've talked to. And this is where one of the things that we like to do at my company is at every desk that you have what we call a wall of why, which is where you can put pictures of whatever is important to you. Why are you working so hard? Because the reality is if you work for me and my company, you work hard. You work really hard. But you need a reason to know why you're working so hard. And this is where you have to remind yourself, what are you doing this for? Who do you want to prove wrong? Who do you want to prove right? What do you want to do for yourself? Are you doing it for that little child inside of you? The little boy, the little girl that believed they could do something? Is it for your parents? Is it for the person that talked crap to you? What is the reason? You gotta know what that why is. What is your why? Why do you want to go and become successful? Because the mistake that so many people make is they say, I want a Lamborghini. Okay, well, once you get the Lamborghini, then what? I mean, these are fleeting things. There's gotta be something inside of you to really want you to see that success, because it's hard. I mean, anything is hard. Everything is hard. You got to pick what's your hard. But if you really want to see that success that most people just dream about, you have to start doing something a little bit different, and you have to work differently than how the majority of people work. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.